My beloved child, I need you to see this right now. Yes, right now. Do not scroll past this moment. Do not tell yourself you will come back later. I have drawn you here for a reason, and nothing about this timing is accidental. While you were busy with your thoughts, your worries, your endless list of responsibilities, I was arranging this very second so my voice could reach your heart. You may not understand why you felt the urge to open this. You may have thought it was random, just another message in a sea of noise. But I tell you, I move in ways that are gentle and precise. I whisper through impressions. I stir curiosity in your spirit. I guide your eyes to the words you need before you even know you need them. Something has been weighing on you. Perhaps it is a quiet fear you have not spoken aloud. Perhaps it is a question that keeps returning when the room grows silent. You have been carrying it carefully, trying to appear strong, trying to keep everything together. But beneath its strength, there is a longing to know if you are seen, a longing to know if you are still on the right path, a longing to know if I am truly near. I am near, my beloved, closer than your next breath. You have been asking for a sign, even if you did not call it that. In your private thoughts you wondered, are you listening? You see what I am facing. Do you understand how tired I feel? And now, here you are, reading these words. This is not coincidence. This is my response. There is urgency in my voice because I do not want you to sink deeper into doubt. I see how discouragement has tried to wrap around your mind like a heavy fog. I see how distraction has tried to pull you away from hope. That is why I am interrupting your routine. That is why I am stepping into your day without warning. I will not allow you to believe that you are alone. Pause with me for a moment. Breathe. Let the noise fade. This message is not meant to rush you. It is meant to reach you. I am calling your attention not to frighten you, but to awaken you. There is something shifting in your life, something you cannot fully see yet. And before it unfolds, I want your heart steady. I want your spirit anchored in my love. My beloved child, open your heart as you have opened this message. Let me speak to the places you hide from others. Let me bring light to the corners where fear has tried to settle. What I am about to tell you will change the way you see this season. Stay with me. I am speaking directly to you. My beloved child, I see what you have not said. There are words that have formed in your heart but never crossed your lips. There are prayers you started and then stopped because you were too tired to finish them. There are moments when you smiled in front of others, yet inside you felt like you were slowly unraveling. I have seen every one of those moments. Not one sigh has escaped my attention. You have been strong for so long. Strong for your family. Strong for your friends. Strong in places where you felt you had no choice but to endure. But strength can become heavy when you believe you must carry everything alone. You were never meant to carry it alone. Even now, as you listen to my voice, you are still holding something tightly in your chest. A disappointment, a regret, a fear about what might happen next. I see it. You may think that because you did not speak it out loud, it does not count. But I hear the language of your heart. I understand the tears you blinked away before they could fall. I understand the nights when sleep would not come because your mind would not rest. You replayed conversations. You imagined worst-case outcomes. You questioned your decisions. You wondered if you had missed your moment. My beloved child, you have not missed your moment. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And you are not failing as badly as you think you are. There is a gentleness I am placing around you even now. You may not feel it fully yet, but it is there. It is the quiet strength that has kept you going when you felt like stopping. It is the small flicker of hope that refused to go out, even when the wind of doubt blew against it. Do you remember that day when you almost gave up? When you thought, I cannot keep doing this? I was there in that very thought. When you felt a sudden calm that did not make sense, that was me steadying you. When something inside you whispered, just one more day, that was my spirit holding your hand. I know you have asked why certain doors closed. I know you have questioned why some people walked away. I know you have wondered why progress feels slower than it should. But I am not measuring your life by speed. I am shaping your life with care. Every delay, every pause, every unexpected turn is being woven into something far greater than you can currently see. You are not weak because you feel tired. You are human, and I delight in your humanity. I am not disappointed in you for struggling. I am compassionate toward you in it. When you feel overwhelmed, that is not a sign that you lack faith. It is a sign that you need to lean closer to me. Lean now, my beloved. Let me carry what you cannot explain to anyone else. Let me hold the questions you are afraid to ask. Let me take the pressure you have placed on yourself to have everything figured out. You do not need to solve your entire future tonight. You do not need to be perfect to be loved. You do not need to have unshakable confidence for me to remain by your side. I am not waiting for you to become stronger before I bless you. I am strengthening you as you walk. You are seen in your silence. You are understood in your confusion. You are cherished in your weakness. And the very places you think disqualify you are the places where my grace is resting most heavily. Stay with me, my beloved child. I am just beginning to uncover what your heart needs to hear. My beloved child, you almost gave up. There was a moment not long ago when the weight felt unbearable. You were tired of trying, tired of hoping, tired of believing that things would change. You looked at your situation and thought, maybe this is just how it will always be. And for a brief, fragile second, you considered letting go of the dream, the prayer, the fight inside you. But you did not let go. Even when your strength was thin, even when your faith felt like a flicker instead of a flame, something in you refused to surrender completely. That something was not just your willpower. It was me, sustaining you quietly. I was the unseen hand beneath you when you felt like collapsing. I was the steady breath in your lungs when anxiety tried to steal your peace. You thought you were barely surviving, but I saw resilience forming. I saw courage rising in small, invisible ways. When you got up the next morning and faced the day again, even with tears in your eyes, heaven took notice. When you chose not to send that message out of anger, when you chose silence over revenge, when you chose to try one more time instead of quitting, I was there, smiling over you. You believed that because you were struggling, you were failing. But my beloved, struggle does not mean failure. Struggle often means growth. A tree does not break the soil without pressure. A diamond is not formed without weight. And you are being shaped into something far stronger than you realize. I know how close you came to saying, I'm done. I know how heavy your heart felt in that quiet room. But listen to me now. If I had allowed you to quit in that moment, you would have missed the breakthrough that is closer than you think. The storm you are in is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal to you just how deeply anchored you are in me. You are still here. You are still standing. And that is not small. My beloved child, if these words are touching the exact place where you almost lost hope, do not keep this moment to yourself. If this message is breathing life back into your weary spirit. Bless this message with a like so it can travel farther than you ever could. Hype this video so it rises and reaches other hearts who are standing on the edge of giving up tonight. Subscribe to this channel if you long to keep hearing my reassurance in seasons like this. Share this message with 3 souls who need to remember that quitting is not their destiny. Let this be the moment where hope spreads like light breaking through a dark room. And now, hear me clearly. The fact that you almost gave up does not disqualify you. It proves how hard you have been fighting. I am not ashamed of your weakness. I am proud of your persistence. Even when you questioned me, I did not withdraw from you. Even when you doubted yourself, I did not doubt you. The breaking point you feared was actually a turning point. What felt like the end was the edge of transformation. You are not at the finish line of your strength. You are at the beginning of a deeper trust. And I am leading you, gently but firmly, into a new level of endurance, clarity, and peace. Stay with me, my beloved. You did not give up then, and you will not give up now. I am holding you steady, and I am not finished with your story. My beloved child, you did not give up, and now I ask you to help someone else hold on. There are souls tonight standing on the same fragile edge where you once stood, whispering, "I'm done." When you release a seed through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link waiting in the description, you become the unseen hand that steadies them. As I have said, cast your bread upon the waters, and you will find it after many days, and I speak this over you now as living promise. Your giving becomes oil in another's empty lamp, fire in another's dark valley, strength in another's breaking moment. This is not a transaction. It is a divine interruption in someone else's despair. If your heart has ever longed to be used by me, this is your invitation. Sow into this mission, and I will cause your resilience to multiply into harvest. I will guard what concerns you, and breathe increase over what you place in my hands. Act now, give, and let hope travel farther than your own voice ever could. My beloved child, this is not random. The moment you are living in right now, with all its questions and uncertainties, has not slipped through my hands. You may see scattered pieces. You may see delays, detours, and disappointments. But I see a design. I see a pattern forming that you cannot yet fully understand. You have asked, why now? Why this season? Why this struggle? And sometimes the silence felt like an answer you did not want. But silence does not mean absence. It does not mean I have stepped away. It means I am working beneath the surface, aligning details you cannot see. Think of a tapestry being woven. If you look only at the back, you will see knots and loose threads. You will see colors crossing in ways that seem messy and confusing. But from the front, there is beauty, purpose, and intention in every strand. Right now, you are seeing the underside of your story. I am standing at the front, weaving carefully. There were doors that closed and left you stunned. Opportunities that dissolve just when you began to hope. Relationships that shifted without warning. You wondered if you did something wrong. You replayed your actions, searching for the mistake. But my beloved, some doors closed because they were not aligned with your future. Some paths ended because they would have led you into places that would drain your spirit. I do not remove things to punish you. I remove things to protect you. You cannot see the conversations I have blocked. You cannot see the dangers I have redirected. You cannot see the weight I have spared you from carrying. If I showed you everything I have shielded you from, you would understand that what felt like loss was actually mercy. Even the delays you resent are part of my precision. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Timing is not about speed. It is about alignment. A fruit picked too early is bitter. A fruit picked at the right time is sweet and nourishing. I am ripening circumstances around you so that when your moment arrives, it will not crush you, but sustain you. You may feel restless, eager for clarity. You want a clear sign, a detailed plan, a map with every turn marked. But if I gave you the entire map, you might run ahead of your preparation. So I give you light for one step at a time. I give you enough understanding to trust, but not so much that you stop needing me. This season is shaping your character. It is deepening your compassion. It is teaching you patience, endurance, and discernment. These are not small lessons. They are foundations for where you are going. I am building you from the inside out so that when the next chapter unfolds, you will not crumble under its weight. My beloved child, nothing about your presence here, listening to my voice, is accidental. The stirring in your heart is intentional. The longing you feel for something more is intentional. Even the discomfort is intentional. It is stretching you beyond the borders you once thought were permanent. Do not interpret the complexity of your path as chaos. It is choreography. I am moving pieces into place. I am aligning people, opportunities, and revelations that will meet you at the exact moment you are ready. Though it feels uncertain to you is certain to me. Trust that what seems delayed is being refined. Trust that your life is not drifting, it is being directed. You are not wandering without purpose. You are walking through a carefully prepared unfolding. And I, your loving Father, am guiding every step. My beloved child, I know the weight you have been feeling. It presses against your chest at unexpected moments. It settles on your shoulders when you are trying to rest. It whispers that everything is too much, that you are carrying more than you were meant to bear. And some days, you wonder why the pressure has increased instead of eased. But listen to me gently now. Pressure is not always a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes, it is the sign that something powerful is forming. Think of a seed buried deep in the soil. From the outside, it looks forgotten, covered in darkness, surrounded by dirt. If the seed could speak, it might say, "Why am I hidden? Why am I pressed down?" Yet beneath the surface, something miraculous is happening. The pressure of the soil is not destroying the seed. It is activating it. It is creating the exact environment needed for growth. You, my beloved, are in a growing season. The weight you feel is not meant to crush you. It is shaping resilience within you. It is teaching you to rely on me in ways comfort never could. When everything feels easy, you lean on your own strength. But when the ground feels unstable, you reach for my hand. And I am always there. I see how responsibilities have multiplied. I see how expectations, both from others and from yourself, have become heavier. You want to do everything well. You want to meet every need. You want to avoid disappointing anyone. And in the process, you have forgotten that you are allowed to be human. You are not meant to be the savior of everyone around you. That role is mine. You are not required to fix every situation. Some things are beyond your control, and that is not a failure. It is a reminder that you are my child, not the one who holds the universe together. The pressure you feel before a breakthrough often feels like the breaking point, but the two are not the same. A breaking point destroys. A breakthrough transforms. What you are experiencing is not destruction. It is transformation. You may not see visible progress yet. You may look at your life and think, nothing is changing. But beneath the surface, roots are spreading. Patience is deepening. Discernment is sharpening. Strength is building quietly. And when the time comes for you to rise above the surface, you will do so with stability that cannot easily be shaken. Do not interpret discomfort as abandonment. I have not stepped away. In fact, I am closer in this season than you realize. When you feel the weight, that is often when I am reinforcing your foundation. When you feel stretched, that is when I am expanding your capacity. You have asked me for growth. You have asked me for clarity. You have asked me for new opportunities. Growth requires stretching. Clarity often comes after confusion. New opportunities require new strength. I am answering your prayers, but not always in the way you expected. My beloved child, release the fear that this pressure means you are failing. It means you are being prepared. The soil is not your grave. It is your garden. The darkness is not your end. It is your beginning. Breathe deeply. The weight will not crush you. I am regulating it. I will not allow more than what will ultimately refine you. And when you rise, you will understand why the season felt so heavy. You are not buried. You are planted. My beloved child, I am restoring what was lost. There are moments from your past that still ache when you remember them. Opportunities that slip through your fingers. Relationships that unravel despite your efforts. Versions of yourself that you miss. The confident one. The hopeful one. The fearless dream where you once were. Sometimes you look back and wonder if those pieces are gone forever. But I am not finished with your story. What you call lost, I call being reshaped. What you call ruined, I call being redeemed. I do not waste your pain. I do not overlook your tears. I gather every fragment of what broke and I begin to rebuild in ways that are stronger and more beautiful than before. Imagine a piece of pottery shattered on the ground. To human eyes, it looks useless, beyond repair. But in the hands of a master craftsman, those broken pieces can be gathered, restored, and even strengthened with gold in the cracks. The fracture lines do not disappear. They become part of a new design. They tell a story of survival, of resilience, of transformation. You are that masterpiece in my hands. The confidence you lost is not gone. It is being rebuilt on a deeper foundation. The trust that was shaken is not dead. It is being refined so it will no longer rest in fragile places. The dreams that seem delayed are not forgotten. They are being purified, aligned with a purpose greater than you imagined. You thought the ending of the chapter meant the end of your joy. You thought that failure defined your future. But I see beyond the moment. I see how the very thing that hurt you also awakened something inside you. Discernment, strength, compassion. These qualities did not come easily. They were born through experience. And now they are part of who you are becoming. Restoration does not always look like getting the exact same thing back. Sometimes I restore by replacing. Sometimes I restore by elevating. Sometimes I restore by healing you so completely that what you lost no longer has power over you. You may not return to the old version of your life, but you will step into something richer, steadier, and more aligned with your destiny. Do not cling to what I have already released from your hands. Trust that if it left, it made room for something better suited to your future. I am not taking from you to leave you empty. I am clearing space so I can fill you with what truly belongs to you. Even now, I am weaving new connections. I am stirring fresh ideas. I am preparing opportunities that will meet you at the right time. The restoration I bring is not rushed. It is intentional. I am rebuilding your inner world first, your heart, your identity, your sense of worth, so that when external blessings arrive, you will be ready to sustain them. My beloved child, You are not defined by what you lost. You are defined by who you are becoming. And who you are becoming is stronger, wiser, and more anchored in my love than ever before. Lift your eyes from the ruins and look toward the horizon. There is new growth there. There is beauty rising from ashes. There is joy returning in ways you did not expect. I am restoring you, not just to where you were, but beyond it. My beloved child, I see the fear that whispers to you at night. When the world grows quiet and distractions fade, your thoughts grow louder. In the stillness, worries rise to the surface. You replay conversations. You imagine outcomes that have not happened. You question whether you are prepared for what lies ahead. And sometimes, in the dark, fear feels bigger than your faith. But I am there in the night with you. You are not alone in those silent hours when your heart beats a little faster and your mind refuses to rest. I sit beside you when you stare at the ceiling. I'm present when you scroll through memories, wondering how everything became so complicated. I hear the unspoken questions. What if this goes wrong? What if I am not enough? What if I fail? Fear often speaks in what ifs, but I speak in promises. Fear tells you that you are vulnerable and unprotected. I tell you that you are covered and seen. Fear tells you that the future is a threat. I tell you that the future is held securely in my hands. Fear magnifies uncertainty until it feels overwhelming. I steady you with truth that does not shift with circumstances. You have allowed fear to become a quiet companion, thinking it keeps you safe. You believe that by worrying, you are preparing. By overthinking, you are preventing mistakes. But fear does not guard you. It drains you. It steals your rest and clouds your clarity. My beloved, you do not need fear to survive what is coming. You need trust. Trust does not mean pretending challenges do not exist. It means knowing that no challenge arrives without my awareness. It means understanding that even when you cannot see the outcome, I can. And I am not surprised by anything that unfolds in your life. There are battles you imagine fighting that will never even happen. There are disasters you have rehearsed in your mind that will never become reality. Fear builds stories that are not written by me. And when you believe those stories, you exhaust yourself fighting shadows. Come back to my voice. When anxiety begins to rise, pause and remember this. I've carried you through every difficult season before this one. Every time you thought you would not make it, you did. Not because you are invincible, but because I was faithful. The same faithfulness that sustained you then is sustaining you now. Your future is not a dark hallway filled with traps. It is a path illuminated step by step. You do not need to see the entire road. You only need the light for the next step. And I provide that light faithfully. Tonight, when fear tries to whisper again, answer it with my truth. Tell it that you are not abandoned. Tell it that you are guided. Tell it that you are deeply loved and divinely protected. Let my promises become louder than your worries. Rest, my beloved child. Release the tight grip you have on tomorrow. You are not required to solve it before it arrives. I am already there, preparing what you cannot yet see. The night does not belong to fear. It belongs to me. And in my presence, you are safe. My beloved child, you are not behind. I know how often you compare your life to others. You scroll through their milestones, their celebrations, their announcements, and you quietly measure your own progress against theirs. You see engagements, promotions, achievements, new beginnings. And somewhere inside, a small voice asks, why not me? Why am I still here? But you are not behind. You are on a different path. Comparison is a thief that steals joy from your present moment. It convinces you that life is a race and that everyone else is ahead of you. It tells you that if you have not reached certain milestones by now, you have failed. But I did not design your journey to mirror anyone else's. I wrote your story with a unique rhythm, a unique pace, and a unique purpose. You do not see the full picture of their lives, just as they do not see the full picture of yours. You see highlights, not struggles. You see victories, not the battles behind them. And even if their journey truly is unfolding faster in certain areas, that does not diminish the beauty of your timing. A flower does not compete with the one beside it. It blooms when its season arrives. If it tries to force itself open before the right time, it will wither. But when it trusts the timing of the sun and the rain, it unfolds naturally and fully. Your season is unfolding with precision. There are lessons you are learning now that will anchor you for what is coming next. There is maturity forming in you. There is clarity developing in you. There is strength building in places you once felt weak. If you were given everything you desire before this inner work was complete, it might overwhelm you instead of bless you. You have looked at your life and thought, I should be further by now. But who decided that timeline? Was it my voice, or was it the pressure of society? Was it my guidance, or was it the expectations of others? Sometimes you carry deadlines that I never gave you. Release them. You are not late to your destiny. You are being prepared for it. Every detour has refined your discernment. Every delay has deepened your patience. Every closed door has redirected you toward something better aligned with who you are becoming. Trust that I know when you are ready. There are opportunities that require a stronger version of you. There are relationships that require a healed version of you. There are responsibilities that require a wiser version of you. I am shaping that version now, even if it feels slow. My beloved child, stop punishing yourself for not being somewhere you were never meant to be yet. You are not stagnant. You are growing. Growth does not always make noise. Sometimes it is quiet, internal, invisible to everyone but me. When doubt tries to tell you that you are falling behind, remember this. I do not operate by human clocks. I operate by divine alignment. And you are exactly where you need to be in this moment. Walk at the pace I set for you. Breathe without rushing. Trust without comparing. Your bloom is coming, and it will be right on time. My beloved child, I see the battle that takes place inside your mind. It is a quiet battlefield, invisible to others, yet exhausting to you. Thoughts come and go, but some linger longer than they should. They question your worth. They replay your mistakes. They predict failure before you even begin. And sometimes, you believe those thoughts because they sound so convincing. But not every voice in your mind is truth. There are whispers that tell you that you are not enough, that you will always struggle, that you are too broken, too late, too flawed to experience the fullness of joy you desire. Those whispers feel familiar because you have heard them for so long. But familiarity does not make them accurate. You have allowed past experiences to define your identity. A rejection became proof that you are unwanted. A failure became proof that you are incapable. A delay became proof that you are forgotten. But I tell you now, those events were moments, not definitions. Your mind has tried to protect you by expecting the worst. It tells you that if you assume disappointment, you will not be surprised by it. But this kind of thinking keeps you trapped in fear. It prevents you from embracing hope. It makes you cautious when you are meant to be confident. My beloved, you must learn to separate facts from fears. The fact is that you have survived every hard day so far. The fact is that you have grown through experiences that once felt unbearable. The fact is that you are still standing, still seeking, still hoping. Fear, however, tells you that collapse is always around the corner. I want you to notice how often your mind magnifies the negative and minimizes the positive. You can receive 10 kind words and still fixate on the one criticism. You can accomplish something meaningful and still focus on the one mistake you made along the way. This pattern is not who you are. It is simply a habit you have developed. And habits can change. Begin to challenge the thoughts that diminish you. When your mind says, "I will fail," answer with, "I have succeeded before." When it says, "No one cares," answer with, "I am deeply loved." When it says, "It will never get better," answer with, "I am growing, even now." You do not have to believe every thought that passes through your mind. You have the authority to choose which ones you nurture and which ones you release. Invite my truth into your thinking. Let my voice become louder than your inner critic. You are not your worst mistake. You are not your darkest moment. You are not defined by what went wrong. You are defined by my love for you, which has never wavered. The battle in your mind is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you care deeply about your life and your future. But you do not have to fight alone. Bring your thoughts to me. Lay them before me. Ask me to filter what is true and discard what is false. Clarity will come. Peace will settle in. And slowly, the battlefield will become a garden where healthier thoughts can grow. My beloved child, guard your mind with gentleness, not harshness. Replace accusation with compassion. Replace doubt with trust. Your mind was not created to be your prison. It was created to be a place where hope, creativity, and faith can flourish. And with me guiding you, it will. My beloved child, I am opening a door before you. You may not see it clearly yet. You may only sense that something is shifting, that the air feels different, that the season is beginning to change. But I tell you with certainty, a door is forming. An opportunity is aligning. A path that once seemed blocked is beginning to unlock. For a long time, you stood before closed doors. You knocked. You prayed. You opened. And when nothing moved, discouragement tried to convince you that you were not worthy to enter. But closed doors were never proof of your unworthiness. They were proof of my protection. Now I'm preparing you for something new. This door will not look exactly like what you imagined. It may require courage. It may require you to step beyond what feels comfortable. But it will be aligned with your growth. It will match the strength you have developed in the hidden seasons. And when it opens, you will recognize that the waiting was not wasted. Do not approach this next opportunity with fear. Do not shrink back because of past disappointments. What did not work before was not your final chapter. It was preparation. I have been refining your character, deepening your discernment, strengthening your patience. You are not the same person you were when the last door closed. This time, you will walk differently. Be attentive in the coming days. Listen closely. Pay attention to the subtle nudges in your spirit. I often open doors quietly. I do not always announce them with loud signs. Sometimes the opportunity will appear as a simple conversation, a new idea, a gentle invitation. Do not dismiss small beginnings. Many of my greatest blessings begin humbly. You do not need to force this door open. You do not need to manipulate circumstances or exhaust yourself striving. When the time is right, it will open with a peace that confirms it is from me. And when you step through, I will walk with you. My beloved, If you feel in your heart that something new is approaching, if this message is stirring anticipation within you, do not keep that hope silent. Let this moment be a declaration of faith. Bless this message with a like so it can reach others who are waiting for their doors to open. Hike this video so it rises and finds those who are standing in front of closed doors tonight. Subscribe to this channel so you can continue receiving encouragement as you step into what is ahead. Share this message with 3 people who need courage to walk through their own new beginnings. And now, steady your heart. You do not have to know every detail before you move forward. You only need trust for the next step. I am not leading you into confusion. I am leading you into expansion. The very thing you once prayed for is closer than you think. Do not let fear sabotage what faith has prepared. Do not let old insecurities talk you out of new blessings. You are ready in ways you do not fully see yet. The growth you have undergone has equipped you. The door is not opening to test you. It is opening to elevate you. Stand tall, my beloved child. Lift your eyes. When the moment arrives, walk forward with confidence, knowing that I am the one who opened it, and I will be the one who sustains you on the other side. My beloved child, I am opening a door before you, and I am opening a door through you. As I prepare new paths in your life, I am also inviting you to unlock pathways for others through your generosity. When you give through Super Thanks, step into membership, or so through the PayPal link in the description, you place your hand on the handle of someone else's breakthrough. I have declared, I set before you an open door no one can shut, and today I fulfill that word not only for you, but through you. Your seed becomes a key. It swings wide gates of encouragement, clarity, and salvation for weary hearts. Do not treat this moment lightly. This is a divine alignment, a sacred crossing of opportunity and obedience. As you open your hand, I will open the windows of heaven over your life. I will bless your courage with increase and your faith with favor. Step forward and give now. Let the door I open for you become a doorway of light for many. My beloved child, trust me in the waiting. I know this is the part you struggle with the most. You can endure hardship for a while. You can face challenges when you understand the purpose. But waiting without clear answers feels different. It feels like standing still while everything around you moves forward. It feels like silence when you are desperate for direction. But waiting is not wasted time. While you are waiting, roots are growing beneath the surface. Think of a great tree. Before it rises high into the sky, it first stretches deep into the earth. The deeper the roots, the stronger the tree can stand against storms. If it rushed upward without depth, it would collapse at the first strong wind. You are in a rooting season. You may not see visible progress. Others may not applaud you during this time. There may be no announcements, no dramatic breakthroughs, no sudden changes. But beneath the surface, strength is forming. Stability is being built. Character is deepening. Waiting teaches you things that instant success never could. It teaches patience in a world that demands speed. It teaches trust when outcomes are unclear. It teaches surrender when control feels easier. These lessons are shaping you into someone who can handle what is coming. You have mistaken waiting for abandonment. You have thought, if nothing is happening, maybe I am forgotten. But my beloved, my silence is not absence. It is intentional. There are moments when I speak loudly, and there are moments when I speak through stillness. In stillness, you learn to listen differently. You learn to recognize my presence without constant signs. Do not rush this season. I am not late. I am precise. If what you desire arrived too soon, it might overwhelm you. If clarity came too early, you might step ahead of my guidance. So I pace the unfolding of your life with wisdom. I know what you can carry. I know what you need to learn. I know the exact moment when readiness meets opportunity. While you wait, do not shrink. Do not withdraw in frustration. Continue showing up. Continue growing in small ways. Continue nurturing your gifts, even if no one is watching. The waiting season is not a pause in your purpose. It is part of your preparation. I see how difficult it is for you to remain hopeful when days look the same. I see the temptation to settle for less because you are tired of expecting more. But do not lower your faith to match your impatience. The promise I placed in your heart is still alive. The seed does not break through the soil the moment it is planted. It pushes slowly, quietly, persistently. And one day, without warning, it appears above the surface. That is how your breakthrough will feel. Gradual preparation followed by sudden visibility. Trust me in the unseen work. Trust me when progress feels invisible. Trust me when answers are delayed. I am not withholding good from you. I am cultivating something lasting. My beloved child, waiting is not a sign that nothing is happening. It is a sign that something sacred is unfolding. Stay rooted. Stay steady. Stay open. What is growing beneath you will soon support what rises above you. My beloved child, you are deeply loved. Not because of what you accomplish. Not because of how strong you appear. Not because of how well you hold everything together. You are loved because you are mine. That love existed before your first success, and it will remain long after your last mistake. You have been measuring your worth by performance for far too long. When you succeed, you feel valuable. When you fail, you feel diminished. When others praise you, you feel secure. When they criticize you, you feel small. But my love for you does not rise and fall with your circumstances. It is constant. There is nothing you could do to make me love you more. And there is nothing you could do to make me love you less. Even in moments when you doubt yourself, even in moments when you regret your choices, my affection toward you does not waver. I do not love a future, perfected version of you more than I love you right now. You struggle to believe this because human love has often been conditional. You have experienced approval that depended on achievement. You have felt affection that faded when expectations were not met. So you assume that my love must operate the same way. But I am not like those who have misunderstood you. When you are exhausted, I do not pull away. I draw closer. When you are confused, I do not criticize. I guide gently. When you stumble, I do not shame you. I steady you. My love is not fragile. It does not crack under pressure. There are parts of yourself you try to hide from others. Insecurities, fears, imperfections. You fear that if people truly saw everything, they might withdraw. But I see all of you already. Every thought, every doubt, every hidden wound. And still, I call you beloved. You do not have to earn what is already freely given. Let this truth sink deeper than your doubts. When you wake up, you are loved. When you feel productive, you are loved. When you feel lost, you are loved. When you are confident, you are loved. When you are overwhelmed, you are loved. My love is the foundation beneath your life. It is the steady ground under your shifting emotions. It is the anchor when your mind tries to drift toward fear. When everything else feels uncertain, this remains unchanged. You belong to me, and you are cherished. Stop striving to prove your value. Stop exhausting yourself trying to secure affection. Rest in what is already yours. Let my love quiet the inner voice that says you must do more to deserve good things. You are not a burden. You are not an inconvenience. You are not too much. You are not too broken. You are my child. When you understand this, truly understand it, something inside you will soften. The pressure to perform will loosen. The fear of rejection will weaken. You will begin to move through life not from desperation for approval, but from confidence in being loved. My beloved child, receive this now. Do not argue with it. Do not push it away because it feels unfamiliar. Let yourself be held by the truth that you are deeply, unconditionally, eternally loved. My beloved child, it is time to release the guilt. You have been carrying it quietly, almost as if you believe you deserve the weight. You replay certain memories and wish you had chosen differently. You revisit conversations and imagine better responses. You think about missed opportunities and wonder how life might look if you had acted another way. And in those moments, guilt wraps itself around your heart like a chain. But I did not create you to live in chains. There is a difference between learning from your past and living imprisoned by it. Reflection brings growth. Condemnation brings paralysis. And too often, you confuse the two. You tell yourself that by holding on to guilt, you are staying humble. But humility does not require self-punishment. You are not meant to relive your mistakes every day. Yes, you have made choices that were not wise. Yes, you have said things you regret. Yes, you have taken paths that led to pain. But those moments do not define your entire identity. They are chapters, not the whole story. If I intended for you to remain trapped in those chapters, I would not have brought you this far. You struggle to forgive yourself even after asking for forgiveness. You believe that if you let go of guilt too quickly, you are dismissing the seriousness of what happened. But holding on to shame does not undo the past. It only steals peace from your present. Imagine walking with a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a regret. At first, you barely notice the weight. But over time, it begins to slow you down. You grow tired more easily. You question why the journey feels so exhausting. Yet you forget that you are the one still carrying what could have been laid down. Lay it down now. I am not asking you to ignore your past. I am inviting you to redeem it. What you learned through those painful moments has shaped your wisdom. What you endured has deepened your empathy. What you regret has refined your discernment. Even your mistakes have been woven into growth. My beloved child, I do not look at you through the lens of your worst decision. I see your heart. I see your desire to do better. I see your willingness to grow. And that is enough. The guilt you cling to is not coming from me. My voice convicts gently and then restores completely. I do not accuse you endlessly. I correct, I heal, and I move forward with you. If the thought keeps returning only to shame you without leading to growth, it is not my voice. You are allowed to move forward. Forgiving yourself does not mean pretending nothing happened. It means trusting that my grace is stronger than your failure. It means believing that your story is still unfolding beyond that painful moment. Break the chain, my beloved. Stop revisiting the scene of your mistake as if you are still standing there. You are not there anymore. You have walked miles beyond it. You have matured. You have changed. And I have been with you every step of the way. Lift your head. Release the weight. Step into this day without dragging yesterday behind you. There is freedom waiting for you on the other side of self-forgiveness. And I am leading you into it. My beloved child, your tears matter. You may think they fall unnoticed. You may wipe them away quickly, embarrassed by your own vulnerability. You may tell yourself that you are being too sensitive, too emotional, too weak. But every tear you have cried has been seen. Not one has fallen without my awareness. There were tears you cried in public, surrounded by others who offered comfort. But there were also tears you cried alone, in the quiet of your room, when no one knew how deeply you were hurting. Those are the ones you believe no one understands. Those are the ones you tried to silence. Yet I was there in that stillness. I was not distant from your grief. I was near. Sometimes you feel ashamed of how deeply things affect you. You think you should be stronger by now. You think you should have moved on. But healing does not follow a strict timeline. The heart has its own rhythm. Some wounds close quickly. Others need gentle, patient care. You have lost things that mattered to you. You have lost people, dreams, expectations. Even when the loss was necessary, it still hurt. And you wondered if it was wrong to grieve something that perhaps was not meant to stay. But grief is not weakness. It is evidence that you cared. When you cry, you are not failing. You are releasing. Each tear carries emotion that words cannot fully express. There are pains too complex to describe, disappointments too layered to explain, longings too fragile to speak aloud. Yet your tears speak clearly to me. They tell the story of your heart. You have tried to be strong for so long that you sometimes forget you are allowed to feel. You put on courage like armor. You smile when you are breaking. You say, "I'm fine," when you are far from it. But I do not require you to perform strength in my presence. You can be honest here. Bring me your sorrow without filtering it. Bring me your confusion without polishing it. Bring me your anger, your questions, your heartbreak. I am not intimidated by your emotions. I create in your capacity to feel. And I stand with you in every feeling. Your tears are not wasted. They are watering seeds of compassion inside you. They are softening places that once felt hardened. They are making room for deeper empathy, greater understanding, richer love. What feels like breaking is often expanding. Do not rush yourself out of mourning. But do not believe you will stay there forever either. There is comfort coming. There is joy returning. There is laughter that will rise again from the same heart that now feels heavy. My beloved child, I hold you gently in your sadness. I sit beside you in your silence. When your strength feels thin, I wrap you in mine. You do not have to hide your tears from me. Cry if you need to. Release what has been building. And know this with certainty: your tears are seen, your pain is acknowledged, and your heart is deeply treasured. You are not alone in your sorrow. I am with you even here. My beloved child, the storm is shifting. I know it has felt long. I know there were days when the sky over your life seemed permanently gray. You adjusted to the sound of thunder. You grew used to bracing yourself for the next wave of difficulty. And after a while, you began to wonder if calm would ever return. But storms do not last forever. Even when clouds cover the sky, the sun has not disappeared. It is simply hidden for a time. In the same way, my goodness has not left your life during this difficult season. It hath been working behind the scenes, steady and faithful, even when you could not see it. You have endured more than you give yourself credit for. You navigated uncertainty. You faced conversations you did not want to have. You survived days when your energy felt drained and your hope felt thin. And though you may not have felt strong, you kept moving. That is resilience. Storms have a purpose. They cleanse. They reshape landscapes. They breathe with we and reveal it with deeply anger. The winds that felt harsh were exposing cracks that needed repair. The rain that felt relentless was softening ground that had grown hard. You may not have chosen this season, but it hath been shaping you. There were beliefs you held that could not survive this storm. There were attachments that could not withstand the pressure. There were illusions that had to be washed away. And though the process was uncomfortable, it has created space for something stronger to grow. Now, the intensity is easing. You may notice small signs first. A conversation that brings unexpected peace. A day where anxiety feels lighter. A thought that carries hope instead of dread. These are the first breaks in the clouds. Do not dismiss them. They are signals of transition. My beloved child, I am not saying that all challenges will vanish overnight, but the season of constant turbulence is ending. You are stepping into steadier ground. The skills you developed in the storm will serve you in the calm. The wisdom you gained will guide your next steps. Do not cling to survival mode. You do not have to live braced for impact anymore. Slowly allow yourself to relax. Slowly allow yourself to imagine a future that is not defined by struggle. Let your nervous system learn peace again. The storm did not destroy you. It revealed your strength. It revealed your endurance. It revealed your capacity to trust me when circumstances were unclear. And now, as the winds settle, you will begin to see the growth that came from it. There is fire ahead. There is clarity returning. There is stability forming beneath your feet. The chapter of constant upheaval is closing. A new rhythm is beginning. Lift your eyes, my beloved. The horizon looks different now. The clouds are parting. The light is breaking through. And as you step forward, you will realize that you did not just survive the storm. You were transformed by it. My beloved child, I am rebuilding you. Not just your circumstances. Not just the visible parts of your life that others can see. I am rebuilding you from the inside out. In places so deep that even you struggle to reach them. In places where old wounds once lived quietly. In places where doubt once echoed loudly. You thought you were falling apart. But what you were experiencing was reconstruction. There are seasons when I allow certain structures in your life to shake. Beliefs that were built on fear. Habits that were formed in survival. Patterns that once protected you but now limit you. When those structures begin to crack, it can feel terrifying. You may think you are losing yourself. But you are not losing yourself. You are losing what no longer fits who you are becoming. Imagine a house being renovated. The walls must be open. The old wiring must be removed. The foundation must be reinforced. During the process, the space looks chaotic. Dust fills the air. Noise echoes through the rooms. It does not look beautiful while it is being rebuilt. That is how this season has felt for you. But when the renovation is complete, the structure is safer, stronger, and more aligned with its purpose. The temporary mess was necessary for lasting transformation. In the same way, I have been removing what was fragile within you. I have been strengthening your foundation. You are learning to respond instead of react. You are learning to pause before speaking. You are learning to set boundaries where you once overextended yourself. These changes may feel subtle, but they are powerful. They are evidence that growth is taking place. There were parts of your identity that were shaped by fear of rejection. Parts that were shaped by the need to prove yourself. Parts that were shaped by past disappointments. I am gently reshaping those areas. I am teaching you that your worth is not dependent on constant approval. I am teaching you that rest is not weakness. I am teaching you that you are allowed to exist without striving. This rebuilding requires patience. It requires trust. It requires letting go of old versions of yourself, even when they feel familiar. Familiar does not always mean healthy. Comfortable does not always mean aligned. You may notice that you respond differently to situations that once triggered you. You may find yourself choosing peace where you once chose conflict. You may feel a quiet confidence rising where insecurity once dominated. These are signs that the reconstruction is working. Do not rush the process. I am not merely patching you up. I am strengthening you for what lies ahead. The opportunities coming your way will require emotional stability. The relationships forming in your future will require healed patterns. The responsibilities awaiting you will require deeper resilience. I am preparing you for longevity, not just momentary success. My beloved child, trust this rebuilding, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you miss the simplicity of who you used to be. You are not regressing. You are evolving. The person you are becoming is steadier, softer in heart yet stronger in spirit, less reactive, more grounded, less anxious, more assured. I am not finished with the work inside you, but already you are more whole than you were before, and what I am building within you will not easily crumble. You are being rebuilt with care, with intention, and with love. My beloved child, you were chosen for this season, not randomly, not accidentally, not because you were the only option left. You are here, in this exact moment of your life, because I trusted you with it. Even if you feel unqualified, even if you feel uncertain, even if you feel like someone else would handle it better, you were chosen. There are challenges around you that feel heavy, responsibilities that stretch you, decisions that require courage. And sometimes you ask, why me? Why now? But I ask you gently in return, why not you? You have grown in ways you do not fully see. You have endured seasons that build strength quietly within you. You have learned lessons that prepared you specifically for this chapter. You may feel small compared to the task, but I do not measure your readiness by your feelings. I measure it by your growth, and you have grown. This season is not here to break you. It is here to reveal you, to reveal the resilience you develop in hidden places, to reveal the wisdom shaped by past mistakes, to reveal the compassion formed through your own pain. Everything you have walked through has equipped you for what you are facing now. Do not underestimate yourself. You are not meant to approach this season with fear. You are meant to step into it with faith. Faith does not mean you will have no doubts. It means you move forward even when doubts whisper. It means you choose courage even when comfort calls you back. There are people watching you even if you do not realize it. Your perseverance is inspiring someone. Your quiet endurance is giving someone else hope. Your willingness to keep going is a testimony that strength can exist alongside vulnerability. My beloved child, if you feel this stirring in your heart, if you sense that this season is bigger than you imagined, let your faith be visible. Bless this message with a like so it can ignite courage in others who feel overwhelmed by their calling. Hype this video so it rises and reaches those who are questioning their purpose tonight. Subscribe to this channel to continue receiving strength for the journey ahead. Share this message with 3 people who need to be reminded that they were chosen too. You are not here by mistake. You are not carrying this responsibility alone. I am walking beside you. When you hesitate, I steady you. When you feel unsure, I whisper direction. When you grow tired, I supply strength. This season may stretch you, but it will not snap you. It may challenge you, but it will not defeat you. Because the one who placed you here is also sustaining you here. Lift your head, Stand in your place. Do not shrink back because the task looks large. Great assignments often feel intimidating at first. But you are not stepping into this unprepared. You were shaped for it. Trust the growth behind you. Trust the strength within you. Trust the guidance ahead of you. You were chosen for this season, my beloved child. And I do not choose without purpose. My beloved child, you were chosen for this season, and chosen ones carry light. I have entrusted you not only with endurance, but with influence. When you sow through Super Thanks, join in membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, you answer the call to strengthen others who feel unqualified and unseen. I have said, you are the light of the world, and I speak it over you now as living fire. Your generosity becomes oil that keeps this lamp burning for nations you may never meet. This is your appointed hour to act, not by pressure, but by purpose. What you release in faith, I will return in multiplied harvest, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I will cover your household with provision and establish the work of your hands. Do not hesitate when I nudge your spirit. Give now, and stand fully in the season for which I chose you. My beloved child, lay down the pressure. You have been carrying expectations that were never meant to rest on your shoulders. Some were spoken by others. Some were quietly formed in your own mind. You told yourself you must succeed quickly. You must always respond correctly. You must never disappoint anyone. And slowly, without realizing it, you built a life that feels like a constant test. But you were not created to live under relentless pressure. You wake up already thinking about what needs to be done. Your mind runs ahead of the day, listing tasks, anticipating problems, preparing for conversations that have not even happened yet. Even when you rest, part of you remains tense, as if you must stay ready at all times. This is not the peace I intend for you. You confuse responsibility with self-imposed perfection. You believe that if you do not hold everything tightly, it will fall apart. But you are not the glue holding the universe together. You are my child, and I am your source of stability. The pressure you feel to be everything for everyone is exhausting you. You try to anticipate needs before they are spoken. You try to prevent conflict before it arises. You try to manage outcomes that are not entirely in your control. And when something goes wrong, you blame yourself first. Release that burden. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to rest without earning it. Your worth is not measured by how much you accomplish in a day. It is not measured by how many problems you solve. I am inviting you into a different rhythm. Imagine loosening your grip just slightly. Imagine waking up without the weight of proving yourself. Imagine moving through your day with trust instead of tension. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what is not yours to hold. There are outcomes you cannot control. There are opinions you cannot manage. There are timelines you cannot accelerate. And the more you try to control them, the more anxious you become. Control feels safe, but often it only increases pressure. Surrender is not weakness. It is wisdom. When you place your expectations in my hands, you free your mind from constant strain. When you trust me with results, you can focus on faithfulness. Faithfulness is your responsibility. Outcomes are mine. You have lived in a state of high alert for so long that calm feels unfamiliar. You almost distrust peace because you are used to tension. But peace is not a trick. It is a gift. And it is available to you now. My beloved child, breathe deeply. Let your shoulders drop. Let your thoughts slow down. You do not need to anticipate every future problem tonight. You do not need to solve tomorrow before it arrives. Lay down the pressure to be perfect. Lay down the fear of disappointing others. Lay down the belief that everything depends on you. I am with you in your responsibilities. I am guiding you in your decisions. I am strengthening you for what is necessary. You do not have to carry the weight of the world. Let me carry it. My beloved child, I know the pain of the people who left. Some departures were sudden. Words were exchanged, doors closed, and silence followed. Others were gradual. You felt the distance growing long before it was acknowledged. Conversations became shorter. Affection became thinner. And eventually, what once felt secure slipped through your hands. You have asked yourself many questions since then. Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Why did they walk away so easily? And even if you tell others you have moved on, a quiet ache still lingers in certain moments. Rejection has a way of touching old wounds. But listen to me carefully now. Their leaving was not a verdict on your worth. Not everyone is assigned to walk with you for every chapter of your life. Some people arrive to teach you something. Some arrive to receive something from you. Some are meant to stay for years, and others for a season. When a season ends, it does not mean you failed. It means the purpose of that connection has been fulfilled. You tend to romanticize what was lost. You remember the good moments and minimize the warning signs. You replay the laughter and forget the tension. You focus on what could have been and ignore what actually was. This makes the loss feel even heavier. But I saw what you did not see clearly at the time. I saw the misalignment. I saw the patterns that would have slowly drained you. I saw the compromises you were beginning to make to keep peace. I saw the ways you were shrinking to maintain the relationship. And I knew that if it continued, you would lose parts of yourself. So when the separation came, even if it hurt deeply, it was also protection. You are not abandoned. You are being refined. There are connections ahead of you that will not require you to pretend. There are relationships forming in your future where mutual respect, understanding, and support will feel natural rather than forced. But if certain people had stayed, they would have occupied space meant for others. It is difficult to release what once felt important. It is difficult to accept that not everyone will understand you. But you cannot build your identity on who chooses to stay or go. Your identity is rooted in me. Do not chase those who have chosen distance. Do not beg for validation from those who cannot see your value. What is meant for you will not require you to diminish yourself. Grieve what was lost, but do not let grief convince you that you are unlovable. Their departure says more about their journey than about your worth. My beloved child, trust that I am aligning you with people who will walk beside you with integrity and care. Trust that the space created by those who left is not emptiness. It is room for healthier connections. You are not too much. You are not too complicated. You are not too intense. The right people will not be intimidated by your depth or your dreams. Release the ones who have gone. Bless them silently and let them continue on their path. And allow yourself to move forward without carrying the weight of their decision. I am guiding your relationships just as carefully as I guide your steps. And those who are meant to remain will remain. My beloved child, I am protecting you from what you cannot see. You often measure protection by visible outcomes. If something painful happens, you assume I was not guarding you. If a plan falls apart, you wonder where I was. But protection does not always look like prevention of discomfort. Sometimes it looks like redirection. Sometimes it looks like delay. Sometimes it looks like a door closing when you were certain it should open. There are dangers you never noticed because I intercepted them quietly. There were conversations that could have damaged your reputation, but they never reached you. There were opportunities that looked appealing, but would have entangled you in stress far beyond what you imagined. There were environments that seemed promising but would have slowly eroded your peace. You did not see the full picture, but I did. I shield you in ways you do not recognize. You felt frustrated when certain plans collapsed. You questioned why momentum stalled. You doubted yourself when something you worked hard for slipped away. But had you stepped fully into those situations, you might have faced consequences that would have taken years to untangle. Closed doors are not always rejection. Often, they are rescue. My protection is not always dramatic. It does not always announce itself with visible miracles. Often, it is subtle. A missed opportunity. A delayed response. A change of heart. You interpret these moments as setbacks, but they are adjustments in your path. You do not need to see every threat to trust that I am guarding you. Just as a child does not understand all the dangers in the world yet is kept safe by a watchful parent, you are cared for beyond your awareness. There are spiritual, emotional, and practical battles that never reached you because I stood in the way. There were outcomes that could have harmed your confidence, your future, or your peace. I allowed inconvenience to spare you from devastation. When something does not work out, pause before assuming loss. Ask yourself whether it could be protection. Ask whether the redirection is steering you toward something healthier, wiser, more aligned with your growth. My beloved child, trust that I am not careless with your life. I do not allow chaos without purpose. Even when challenges arise, they are filtered through my wisdom. Nothing touches you without passing through my hands first. You are more guarded than you realize. This does not mean you will never face difficulty. It means that difficulty will not have the final word. I limit what can harm you. I strengthen you for what must be faced. I guide you around pitfalls you would not have recognized on your own. Release the frustration over what did not happen. Release the resentment over what slipped away. You may one day look back and say, "Thank you for that unanswered prayer. Thank you for that closed door. Thank you for that delay." For now, simply trust. I am your shield in unseen battles. I am your guide through uncertain paths. I am your defender in moments you never knew required defense. Rest in this truth, even when you cannot see the protection, it surrounds you. My beloved child, you are stronger than you think. You often look at yourself and see only the areas where you feel fragile. You notice your doubts, your moments of hesitation, your emotional exhaustion. You compare yourself to an ideal version of strength that seems fearless and unshakable. And because you still feel deeply, because you still struggle at times, you assume you are weak. But that is not how I measure strength. Strength is not the absence of emotion. It is not the absence of fear. It is not the ability to move through life untouched by hardship. True strength is continuing forward even when your heart feels heavy. It is choosing kindness when you have been hurt. It is waking up and trying again after a day that drained you completely. Look back at your life for a moment. There were seasons you thought would break you. Moments when you said, "I cannot handle this." Times when uncertainty surrounded you and answers felt far away. Yet you are still here. You survived conversations you were afraid to have. You endured losses you did not think you could bear. You adapted when plans fell apart. That is strength. You underestimate yourself because your resilience feels ordinary to you. You do not see how far you have come because you lived every step of the journey. But if you could stand outside your own life and observe it, you would see courage woven throughout your story. You kept loving even after disappointment. You kept hoping even after delay. You kept believing even when doubt tried to drown out your faith. That is not weakness. That is quiet power. My beloved child, I have been building strength in you through every challenge. Not the loud kind that demands attention, but the steady kind that endures. The kind that remains calm in chaos. The kind that chooses integrity when shortcuts seem easier. You may still feel uncertain about what lies ahead, but uncertainty does not cancel strength. It simply invites trust. And you have learned to trust me more deeply through everything you have faced. The very things you once saw as your weaknesses have become part of your resilience. Your sensitivity allows you to understand others. Your past mistakes have sharpened your wisdom. Your struggles have increased your empathy. Nothing you endured was wasted. Do not shrink back from opportunities because you doubt your capacity. Do not silence your voice because you think someone else is more capable. The strength within you is not accidental. It was cultivated carefully, and I am still cultivating it. You are not fragile in the way you imagine. You are flexible. You bend without breaking. You adapt without losing yourself. You grow through adversity instead of collapsing under it. When the next challenge comes, and it will in some form, remember this truth. You have faced storms before. You have navigated darkness before. You have carried burdens before. And each time, you emerged wiser and steadier. My beloved child, speak differently about yourself. Stop labeling yourself as weak. See yourself through my eyes. I see resilience. I see endurance. I see courage that refuses to disappear. You are stronger than you think. And with me beside you, your strength will continue to grow. My beloved child, your prayers are not ignored. There have been nights when you whispered words into the quiet and wondered if they rose beyond the ceiling. There have been moments when you prayed with urgency, asking for relief, for clarity, for change. And when the situation did not immediately shift, you questioned whether I was truly listening. But I have heard every word, even the prayers you could not fully form, even the ones that came out as tears instead of sentences, even the sighs that carried more emotion than language could express. Nothing you bring to me disappears into silence. You measure answered prayer by visible results. You expect immediate movement, clear confirmation, dramatic transformation. And sometimes I do answer that way. But often, my answers unfold gradually. Sometimes the answer is not no, but not yet. Sometimes it is not wait, but grow. There are prayers you prayed years ago that are shaping your life today. Seeds planted in faith that took time to sprout. Just because you cannot see the growth does not mean it is not happening beneath the surface. Imagine placing a seed into the soil. You water it faithfully. You check the ground the next day and see nothing. You check again the next week and still see no change. If you judged only by what is visible, you might conclude that nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. Life is preparing to break through. Your prayers are like that. Some are being answered in ways you do not yet recognize. Some are being refined because what you asked for has evolved as you have grown. Some are being delayed because timing matters more than speed. You once prayed for strength, and then a challenging season arrived. You once prayed for patience, and then circumstances tested your endurance. You once prayed for wisdom, and then experiences stretched your understanding. The answer came, but not always in the form you expected. Do not confuse delay with denial. I am not withholding good from you. I am aligning it. I am shaping you alongside the blessing so that when it arrives, you can sustain it. If I gave you everything the moment you asked, some of it would overwhelm you instead of serve you. My beloved child, keep praying. Not because I need reminders, but because prayer keeps your heart connected to mine. It anchors you in trust. It opens space for peace. It reminds you that you are not navigating life alone. When doubt whispers that your words are falling into emptiness, remember this. I am closer than you think. I am attentive to every detail of your life. I care about what concerns you, even if it seems small. Your prayers matter. Your voice matters. Your faith matters. Do not stop speaking to me simply because you have not yet seen the outcome. Continue bringing your hopes, your fears, your dreams, your questions. I am listening. I am responding. I am working in ways you cannot fully see. And one day, you will look back and realize that not a single sincere prayer was wasted. My beloved child, a new chapter is beginning. You may not feel the full shift yet. You may still see remnants of the old season around you. But something within you has changed. The way you think is changing. The way you respond is changing. The way you see yourself is changing. And when the inside shifts, the outside soon follows. You have outgrown certain patterns. You have outgrown certain fears. You have even outgrown certain environments that once felt familiar. What once felt normal now feels restrictive. What once felt acceptable now feels misaligned. This is not confusion. This is transition. Every new chapter begins quietly. It does not always start with fireworks or dramatic announcements. Sometimes it begins with a subtle realization. I cannot go back to who I used to be. It begins with a quiet dissatisfaction with old habits. It begins with a new desire for peace, for purpose, for depth. You are standing at the threshold. The old chapter taught you resilience. It taught you patience. It taught you discernment. But it also carried struggles that you are no longer meant to repeat. You do not need to relive the same lessons. You have already graduated from them. Let go of the identity you formed in survival mode. You are not merely someone who endures hardship. You are someone who grows beyond it. The new chapter will not require you to be constantly braced for impact. It will invite you to build, to create, to expand. There may be a mixture of excitement and fear within you. That is natural. New beginnings always carry uncertainty. But uncertainty does not mean danger. It simply means you are stepping into territory you have not explored before. You do not need to have the entire chapter written out before you turn the page. You only need the courage to move forward. I will guide the unfolding. Release the nostalgia for what once was. Even if there were good moments, that chapter served its purpose. Holding on to it too tightly will prevent you from embracing what is ahead. Trust that what is coming will not diminish the beauty of what was. It will build upon it. You may notice new ideas forming in your mind, new dreams resurfacing, new conversations opening doors. Pay attention to these signs. They are invitations. They are signals that the season is shifting. My beloved child, do not fear growth. Growth sometimes requires leaving behind what felt safe. But safety is not the same as fulfillment. You were not created to remain small. You were created to expand into the fullness of who you are. This new chapter will reflect the work that has been done within you. It will reflect the healing, the wisdom, the strength you have gained. It will not be perfect, but it will be aligned. Lift your eyes. Breathe deeply. Feel the anticipation rather than the anxiety. You are not losing something. You are entering something. Turn the page with trust. I am already in the next chapter, waiting to walk it with you. My beloved child, step forward now. You have waited. You have grown. You have healed. You have questioned and reflected and learned. And now there comes a moment when reflection must begin action. This is that moment. There is something in your heart that you have been postponing. A decision you know you need to make. A conversation you know you need to have. A risk you know you are meant to take. You have been preparing, thinking, analyzing. But overthinking has started to look like hesitation. Do not let fear disguise itself as wisdom. Caution has its place, but so does courage. You cannot remain at the edge of the shore forever, studying the water, calculating every wave. At some point, you must trust what you have learned and step in. You are more ready than you feel. You have been asking me for confirmation, for a sign, for reassurance. And I have been building confidence within you quietly. The peace you feel when you imagine moving forward is not accidental. The restlessness you feel when you consider staying where you are is not random. These are signals. Growth requires movement. If you stay in what is familiar simply because it feels safe, you will begin to feel confined. The season you are in now is not meant to hold you indefinitely. It is meant to launch you. You do not need to see the entire staircase before you take the first step. You only need clarity for the step directly in front of you. I will illuminate the rest as you move. My beloved child, if you feel the call to step forward rising in your spirit right now, do not ignore it. Seal this moment with faith. Bless this message with a like so it can awaken courage in others who are standing still. Hype this video so it reaches those who are hesitating at the edge of their next chapter. Subscribe to this channel to continue receiving strength for bold obedience. Share this message with 3 people who need the reminder that movement is part of trust. And now listen closely. Stepping forward does not mean you will not feel nervous. It means you move despite the nerves. It does not mean everything will unfold perfectly. It means you trust that even imperfection can be guided. Do not wait for absolute certainty. Absolute certainty is rare. What you have instead is alignment. You have growth behind you. You have peace within you. You have my presence beside you. Take the step. Send the message. Make the call. Submit the application. Set the boundary. Start the project. Release what no longer fits. Whatever form it takes in your life, act in alignment with the growth you have experienced. You are not being reckless. You are being obedient to the transformation within you. This is not the time to retreat. This is not the time to shrink back into old patterns. This is the time to embody the strength you have built. Step forward, my beloved child. I am already ahead of you, preparing the ground where your foot will land. My beloved child, you have stepped forward in faith. Now step forward in impact. As you move in obedience in your own life, I invite you to advance my word in the lives of others. When you give through Super Thanks, commit through membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not losing, you are launching. Give, and it will be given unto you. I declare again over your present moment, alive and active. Your seed becomes a river, carrying hope into dry places, courage into fearful hearts, clarity into confusion. This is not coincidence. This is alignment between your growth and my greater mission. What you release today will not return empty. It will rise as harvest in due season. I will steady your steps, shield your provision, and multiply what you entrust to me. Do not retreat into hesitation. Act now, so boldly, and let your obedience echo into eternity. My beloved child, I am healing your heart. Not in a rushed way, not in a way that ignores what you have been through, but in a deep, steady, intentional way. The kind of healing that reaches beneath the surface and restores what was quietly fractured. There were moments that left marks on you, words spoken carelessly that lingered longer than they should have, situations that shook your confidence, betrayals that made you question your ability to trust. Even if you told yourself you were fine, your heart absorbed the impact. Healing is not pretending it did not hurt. Healing is allowing me to touch the place where it did. You built walls to protect yourself. That was understandable. When something wounds you, your instinct is to guard against it happening again. You became more cautious, more reserved. You measured your words carefully. You hesitated before letting anyone too close. But walls that protect can also isolate. I am not asking you to lower your discernment. I am asking you to release fear. There is a difference. Discernment helps you choose wisely. Fear convinces you to avoid connection altogether. Discernment strengthens relationships. Fear suffocates them. Your heart was never meant to remain closed. You were created for connection. Oh joy! For vulnerability that is rooted in wisdom, not in naivety. And I am gently restoring your capacity to open again. You may notice small shifts. Moments when you feel lighter for no clear reason. Times when laughter comes more easily. Conversations that feel safe and sincere. These are signs of healing at work. Healing also looks like forgiving yourself for staying too long in situations that drained you. Forgiving yourself for trusting when you should have stepped back. Forgiving yourself for not knowing what you know now. You are learning. Do not judge your past self with the knowledge you have today. Growth changes perspective. But the person you were then was doing the best they could with what they understood. My beloved child, let me replace bitterness with wisdom. Let me replace fear with discernment. Let me replace heaviness with hope. Your heart does not need to remain guarded at every turn. There is joy ahead that requires openness. There are relationships ahead that require trust. There are experiences ahead that require emotional availability. If your heart stays locked, you will not be able to fully receive what is coming. Healing is not weakness. It is strength choosing softness. It takes courage to open again after being hurt. It takes faith to believe that not every future will repeat the past. But you are not the same person you were when the wound first happened. You are wiser. You are steadier. You are more aware. And I am with you. Let your heart breathe again. Let hope flow where disappointment once settled. Let love enter without the constant expectation of loss. I am healing you, my beloved child. Layer by layer. Memory by memory. And the version of you emerging from this healing will be whole, not hardened. Trust the process. Your heart is safe in my hands. My beloved child, the promise still stands. There are words I whispered into your spirit long ago. Dreams that once burned brightly in your heart. Visions of a future that felt meaningful and full of purpose. Over time, as challenges arose and delays stretched on, you began to question whether those promises were still alive. But what I have spoken over your life does not expire. You may have grown weary. You may have adjusted your expectations to protect yourself from disappointment. You may have told yourself that perhaps you misunderstood what you felt before. But I do not plant seeds in your heart only to abandon them. The promise still stands, even if it looks different than you imagined. Sometimes you assume that if something has not happened quickly, it must not be meant for you. But fulfillment is not determined by speed. It is determined by alignment. There are layers of preparation that must unfold before a promise can fully bloom. You have changed since the promise was first placed in your heart. You have matured. You have learned. You have been refined. And in that refining, your understanding of the promise has also deepened. What you once desired for recognition, you now desire for impact. What you once wanted for validation, you now want for purpose. That shift is growth, and it is part of the process. My beloved child, do not let temporary discouragement convince you that permanent defeat has arrived. A delay is not a denial. A closed door is not the end of the road. A setback is not the cancellation of your calling. You may not see visible evidence yet, but movement is happening beneath the surface. Connections are forming. Circumstances are aligning. Timing is adjusting. I am not inactive. Trust my faithfulness over your feelings. There will be moments when doubt whispers, maybe it was never meant to be. In those moments, return to what you felt in your spirit when hope was strong. Return to the peace that accompanied the promise. That peace was not an illusion. It was confirmation. The promise does not depend on your perfection. It depends on my consistency. And I am consistent. Do not shrink your vision because the journey has been longer than expected. Do not silence your dreams because progress has felt slow. Continue nurturing what I placed inside you. Even if the path looks different than you imagined, the destination remains secure. You are not foolish for believing. You are not naive for hoping. Faith is not weakness. It is courage stretched across time. My beloved child, hold on to what I spoke to your heart. Not with anxiety, but with quiet confidence. The promise still stands. It has not been revoked. It has not been forgotten. I am faithful to complete what I begin, and what I began in you is still unfolding. My beloved child, you belong to me, not in a distant or possessive way, but in a deeply secure and unshakable way. In a way that means you are never drifting alone, never unlabeled, never without identity. When the world tries to define you by your achievements, your failures, your appearance, your status, I define you by relationship. You are mine. There have been times when you felt like you did not belong anywhere. You entered rooms and felt out of place. You listened to conversations and felt misunderstood. You watched others connect easily while you wondered where you fit. And in those quiet moments, you questioned your value. But belonging is not found first in human circles. It is rooted in me. Before anyone accepted you or rejected you, I chose you. Before anyone applauded you or overlooked you, I called you by name. Your identity is not fragile because it is not built on shifting opinions. It is anchored in my love. When you forget this, insecurity begins to grow. You start adjusting yourself to match expectations. You soften parts of your personality to avoid criticism. You silence certain dreams because they seem too bold. You attempt to earn a place that has already been secured in me. You do not have to audition for belonging. My beloved child, you are not an accident wandering through life. You are not an afterthought. You are intentionally placed, intentionally gifted, intentionally loved. Even when you feel different, that difference is part of your design. Belonging to me means you are never without covering. It means that even when relationships shift, your foundation remains. It means that even when you feel misunderstood by others, you are fully known by me. You have sought belonging in achievements, in relationships, in approval. And while those things can bring joy, they cannot carry the full weight of your identity. Only I can do that. When you understand that you belong to me, comparison loses its grip. Rejection loses its sting. Loneliness loses its power. Because even in solitude, you are not alone. There may still be moments when you feel isolated, but isolation is not abandonment. It is sometimes preparation. It is sometimes protection. It is sometimes the space where you discover more deeply who you are. And who you are is not defined by who stayed or left, by who understood or misunderstood, by who praised or criticized. You are my child. Let that truth settle into the deepest parts of you. Let it quiet the fear of not fitting in. Let it calm the anxiety of not measuring up. Let it steady you when you question your place. You belong in this world because I placed you here. You belong in your calling because I designed you for it. You belong in love because you were created from it. My beloved child, rest in this security. Stop striving to prove your place. Stop shrinking to maintain acceptance. You belong to me, and that is a foundation that cannot be shaken. My beloved child, do not be afraid of what's next. I know the future can feel like a wide, open space filled with unknowns. When you look ahead, you see possibilities, but you also see uncertainty. You see potential, but you also see risk. And sometimes, the unknown feels more intimidating than the familiar struggles you have already faced. But what is ahead of you is not a trap. It is not a hidden danger waiting to unfold. It is a continuation of a journey that I am carefully guiding. Fear often grows in the absence of details. When you cannot predict the outcome, your mind tries to imagine every possible scenario. Some of those scenarios are hopeful. Many of them are not. You rehearse conversations that have not happened. You anticipate problems that may never arise. But the future is not meant to be controlled by imagination. It is meant to be walked step by step with trust. You have faced new chapters before. There was a time when your current reality was once unknown to you. You did not know how you would manage. You did not know how you would adapt. Yet you did. You learned. You adjusted. You grew. The same strength that carried you through past transitions will carry you through this one. Do not allow fear of failure to prevent you from embracing growth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is often part of it. It teaches. It refines. It redirects. You are not fragile. You are capable of learning from whatever unfolds. What is ahead of you contains blessings you cannot yet imagine. It contains connections you have not yet made. It contains moments of joy that will surprise you. But if you focus only on what could go wrong, you will miss the excitement of what could go right. My beloved child, you are not walking into darkness alone. I go before you. I prepare what you cannot see. I align circumstances in ways that will support your growth. You do not need a guarantee of perfection to move forward. You only need the assurance of my presence. And my presence does not waver. When anxiety about the future begins to rise, ground yourself in what you know to be true. You have survived change before. You have adapted to new environments before. You have grown through uncertainty before. This next chapter is not beyond your capacity. It may stretch you, but stretching leads to expansion. Release the need to control every detail. Release the belief that you must have every answer before you begin. Trust that clarity will come as you move, not before. The future is not your enemy. It is your opportunity. Lift your eyes with anticipation instead of dread. Replace what if it fails with what if it flourishes. Replace what if I am not enough with what if I am more ready than I think. My beloved child, do not be afraid of what's next. It is not arriving to harm you. It is arriving to grow you. And I will walk every step of it with you. My beloved child, remember this moment. Not because everything has suddenly changed around you, not because every problem has disappeared, but because something inside you has shifted. A truth has settled deeper. A fear has loosened its grip. The hope has quietly risen again. This moment is a turning point. There will be days ahead when doubt tries to return, when circumstances test your confidence, when old thoughts attempt to replay familiar fears. And when that happens, I want you to remember this feeling, the calm you sense right now, the clarity that is forming, the reassurance that you are not alone. Anchor yourself to this. You are not the same person who began listening to these words. You have been reminded of your strength. You have been reminded of my presence. You have been reminded that delays are not denials, that closed doors can be protection, that storms can shift. Do not let the world convince you tomorrow that this was just emotion. This is truth. Write it on your heart. Carry it in your thoughts. When anxiety whispers, answer it with what you know now. When insecurity rises, recall who you belong to. When impatience grows, remember that promises still stand. Growth often happens quietly. There may not be dramatic evidence immediately, but you have been recalibrated. Your perspective has widened. Your spirit has steadied. You are learning to trust beyond feelings. You are learning to move beyond fear. You are learning to rest in belonging rather than striving for it. Remember this moment when you face a decision and choose courage instead of comfort. Remember this moment when you feel tempted to shrink back and instead decide to step forward. Remember this moment when someone else needs encouragement and you realize you now carry words of hope within you. You are not walking aimlessly. You are walking intentionally. There will still be challenges. I will not promise you a life without difficulty, but I promise you a life that is guided, a life that is protected, a life that is shaped with purpose. Let this be the day you stop doubting your resilience. Let this be the day you stop questioning whether you are seen. Let this be the day you choose to believe that your story is still unfolding in meaningful ways. My beloved child, hold on to this awareness. You are loved. You are guided. You are strengthened. You are protected. You are chosen. And when tomorrow arrives with its own questions, you will not face it empty-handed. You will carry the memory of this reassurance. You will carry the truth that I am with you. Remember this moment. It is not small. It is the beginning of how you walk differently from here forward. My beloved child, we have come to the end of these words, but not to the end of what I am doing in your life. Pause with me for a moment and breathe in everything you have heard. You are not alone. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not weak. You are not abandoned. You are not unseen. You are loved. From the urgency that first called you here to this quiet closing, I have been reminding you of what has always been true. I see your silent battles. I understand your hidden fears. I have been guiding your steps through closed doors, through waiting seasons, through storms that felt endless. I have been rebuilding you, viewing you, strengthening you, preparing you. And I am not finished. As you step forward from this moment, carry this certainty. I go before you. When you face uncertainty, I am your clarity. When you feel pressure, I am your peace. When you doubt yourself, I am your assurance. When you grow tired, I am your strength. The new chapter before you is not a threat. It is an invitation. The promise placed in your heart has not been withdrawn. It is unfolding. The people meant to walk with you will remain. The doors meant for you will open. The protection around you will continue. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust my heart toward you. And now, my beloved child, if these words have steadied your spirit, if they have reminded you of who you are and whose you are, let this mission continue. When you give through Super Thanks membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description and shown in the QR code, you are not supporting a platform. You are sowing into souls. I tell you, give, and it will be given unto you, and this seed becomes light in someone else's darkness. This is your moment of obedience. Do not let it pass. As you sow, I will open the windows of heaven over your generosity and cause your harvest to rise. Act now, and let your giving become a river that carries my word farther than you can see. Go forward with confidence. Go forward with peace. Go forward knowing that you are held. I bless your mind with clarity. I bless your heart with healing. I bless your steps with direction. I bless your future with hope. Rest in me tonight. Walk with me tomorrow. And remember always that I am with you. Amen.